Greetings everybody and welcome back to Rebuilding the Commonwealth, episode 102. Yes, can you believe it? I've actually managed to stick to uploading twice in 2 days. Can you believe it? I'm on a roll. Before you know it, I'll be giving you guys the content you actually deserve, which is a lot more than what I currently upload. I'm joking, of course. If I can't make light of it, then what can I do, right?
Seems to be growing well.
So we have some potatoes here to harvest here at the Warwick homestead. How have you guys been doing? Thank you for your comments and your suggestions in the previous video. Much appreciated. Any shares, likes and all that kind of stuff really helps me out, so please feel free to keep doing so. Just going to collect all the produce here because I will be needing a lot of it to keep this farm going. I think that's all of them. Yep. This moot fruit needs harvesting. Fuck it, I'll do it later. It's not like moot fruit I'm particularly short of anyway. So yeah, we're at the Warwick homestead where last episode we set up the farm until I realised I didn't have enough resources to continue, which is always hilarious, always a bit of hilarity. Over on this side, the west side of the territory, we have done some work here. I need to put the torch on because I haven't lit any of this up now we've taken the power sources down. We took this wall out and replaced it with a door. I have put in this subway door, which I've had to expand to, I think, 20% larger, just so that it actually fits in the door. It clips into the floor, but that's why I turned it inwards, so that you don't really notice that. But yeah, we have ourselves another door out of the main property. I thought I'd give it that heavy-duty look, so that it's pretty good that way. Now I feel like there's a lot of verticality to this settlement that we can take advantage of, and there's a few bits of framework that I want to add to the Warwick homestead in time for the next couple of episodes, just to get us on the right track, you know. So let's have a look here. We have the industrial bridge here, so oh yeah, increase my frame rate. So, snap and build, in case you guys don't know, this is what I'm using on the regular basis, which is the industrial kit. And if you have the snap and build configurator, you have the ability to add on these military structures. And they're the same as the normal ones, but they have the bright reflective stuff, and they're painted in a kind of military green. Not camouflage, but what's the word I'm looking for? Livery. I can't remember the actual term. I think the Americans say livery, I think we say livery, I don't know. But that's besides the point. Now I want to take away this little catwalk here, because I'm going to take advantage of some of the verticality on this end of the settlement. Granted, the boundaries for the west side are kind of close, which means there's not much I can do out in the water. But what I want to do is take away this industrial bridge, and I'm going to replace it with just a short piece. Now, if my calculations are correct, a three-way turn will now fit. Like a glove. Yep, absolutely like a glove. That's what we like to see. Of course, this door is still fine. And now we're going to take advantage of this part of the settlement. If I put a right-hand bend here, oh, that's fine. That's not an issue. And then I'm going to put in some steps which will take us up to the next level. Wow, this is almost like it was meant to be. I didn't plan this, by the way. I've been at work today. I work from home, and at the moment I'm fairly underworked. If you work in financial services in the UK, you'll know exactly what I mean when I say underworked, given what's happened in the economy lately. And a lot of stuff that's been happening today, I've just been kind of sat there going, oh, what if I do this? Oh, but I could do that. And it's just like I've been consumed by ideas and I've just not had a way of implementing them. Right, is this connected to anything? Oh, that was 3 silos. Did that take away anything in here? Oh, fuck, it did. I mean, to be honest, that's not the end of the world. Not by a long shot. I mean, actually, that does kind of open up a lot of space to use in here. Like I said, I'm going to respect the topography, no problems, and then I just absolutely violate the topography. But if I put this up here, that is the floor as well. Is there ceilings here? No, these are just foundations. Are these just walls? Yes, they are. See, we've got floor only, but we don't have ceiling only. We only have 4 floors. I mean, that's going to be a touch of a pain, but it's workable. So if I just simply add in one of these. And I just put it underneath the already existing ceiling. Then this should look none the wiser. Oh, helps if I actually do the job properly. There we go. There we go. So you can't actually tell the difference. You can't tell that I've taken that apart and redone it. Now up on the top floor, you cannot tell the difference, which is exactly what I was planning. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to go back to structures, back to snap and build, industrial, industrial bridges, military. I mean, yeah, that does provide access to the top of the settlement. And, oh, I could put a bridge across to the other building too. I think it's the same height. Oh, okay, hang on a minute. Okay, yeah, these snap. They snap sideways. These are for rooms and halls. These are for walkways. The issue I have is that these will only snap sideways, but what if I could lay them out horizontally? Like that. Do they then stack? No, they do not. Oh, how cool would that be? I'll leave that there for now. Yes, they are bright red. They do look a little bit out of place, but that doesn't mean I can't do this. I don't really want full-blown steps for this, but I think a little ramp. This bridge ramp will do the job. And of course, it wants to snap to the flooring underneath. And that is more or less picture perfect over the top of the walkway below. So now, if we build a bridge and take it across to the other building, just do another little ramp to let us down on the other side. Excellent. Now my question is, and this is an important one, how does that look from across the way? I'm going to go and sleep, because it is a cardinal sin to work in the dark on this game. It's an absolute bloody cardinal sin. I can't work in the dark. Excuse me. There we go. And of course it has to be bloody foggy, doesn't it? Can I sleep for another hour and get rid of that fog? I have a feeling it's pretty much perpetually foggy down here. I mean, I don't hate it. I think with a little bit of industrialisation, maybe put some apparatus down here and there, I think this would look fine. I mean, I could even build a control room here, but I think that's too close to the tank here. So I'll tell you what, let's see what we can do with these bridge add-ons. See if there's a way I can finagle these to make them the way I want them. It's too bad there's no duplicate function on Fallout. Make my job a lot easier. How is that looking on this side? Ooh, that's not even close, I don't think. I mean, the difference there is so small you can barely notice. Ah, now they snap. Oh, of course. You know what, let's take that ramp down and we'll just have a flat bridge. Just a completely flat bridge. Don't want the extendable one, I want this industrial one here. Okay, good. At least I'm not going nuts on that point. No, bit more. Bit more. And that sits almost perfectly. Yeah, that's... Yeah, that's fine. I can walk on that. I can always make a wooden step if I need to. And then we'll place just a short piece. Do we have a short piece here? Yes. Step over that concrete on the other side. Excellent. Great. So we now have a bridge over, and I will adorn this with some extra stuff. So I think this might be a good lookout for snipers. Could even be a place for a stationary artillery gun. I mean, there is a nice big turning circle for anything that is stationed on the roof here. That building has probably got too much stuff there for me to use as a stationary artillery podium, but let me install this. How far are we looking? We're looking at a decent chunk in front of us, about there. I think that needs to be a little bit further down than that. Yeah, I think a couple more inches down, like that. If I move these two pieces here, can I stack them? Yes. Okay. That's it. So a couple of foundations to go up here. How is that looking from the top? Oh, that's way too high. Way too high. And that is way too far outwards as well. That's a little bit more like it. Maybe now I can line them up a little bit straighter than that. Come on. That's it. So this is my big problem with snapping, is it is very selective about where it chooses to do just that. There we go, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for a slightly industrialised feeling, and I'm taking a bit of inspiration for this build out of Diamond City, and you'll see what I mean in a little while. This is definitely going to be quite an industrialised area. Oh yes, of course. Industrial support. I mean, this should basically be touching this point here, but not a slight bit over, like that. Then one up and one up. Up, one up. I'll leave that away for a second so I can check my work at the top. I mean, this is all about the basic building blocks. I want to get the basic bits right before we build anything more complicated here at Warwick Homestead. That's fine, and not much showing on that side. Slight bit more showing on that side. So in that case, let's edge that out a little bit, and that will keep it in context with the rest. In keeping, rather. So just realign the posts underneath. and then put the bridge back in, and that is our 2 supports. There we go. That looks a lot more like it's meant to be there, and I think that's really much better. Okay, any other add-ons that we have here that we can use? Oh, I've had the military supports. What the fuck was I doing? But to be honest, I do kind of like the red. It kind of breaks up the dreary texture, so I might stick to what we have there. Water 195, suddenly not good enough. Jog on. Okay, this room here I'm going to turn into a water purification centre. I might make a mezzanine floor up here which might have like the foreman in it, but this is where all of the equipment from this building over here will be moved over. This will serve as the hub for creating fresh water for the entire Commonwealth. So canonically, this will be the purification centre, and it's also going to be a naval base. Yes, the Minuteman Navy is going to be stationed here in Warwick Homestead. For those of you breathing a excited sigh, I'm happy for you. So yeah, that's handy dandy, that is.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the first basic building blocks. We've connected the buildings and we've given it a good industrial feel to it. I mean, I could create an entire network out of this walkway system on this end, but that's for another video. Now I want to put the building blocks in for this. What does the rusted look like for buildings? I mean, it's a bit dreary. It's a little bit dull, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. And what does the rusted posts look like? I mean, they look a bit dreary as well. Or I could use a mixture for this, and I think that would be really cool. I mean, these look a bit rusty anyway. Now, one thing I did notice when I was, doing almost like a surveyor's run of this place, was that we have these naturally occurring breaks in the terrain, which I thought would be amazing for entrances, i.e. one of these. My only concern is this little bit of terrain means I might have to raise the platform a little bit more above what I'm comfortable with for this idea. So if I just put in a couple of bits of bridge, how high is that? Oh, perfect. Excellent clearance. Goes right over the top. That's what I was hoping for. So, what are you proposing that I do you reckon? Now, as I said, I'm going to take a little bit of inspiration from Diamond City on this one. I am working with a lot less space than I would like, so just for the purposes of illustration here, this is how far I can go. That is the absolute maximum I can go with these builds. So I have to use the space quite wisely. Now, first of all, this is not very high off the ground. There is a reason for that. So put this four-way turn in, and then I'm going to create a pathway over here to get an idea of the space that I'm working with. That's a ramp, that's the piece I'm looking for. Then I'll need another four-way, and then I'll need another ramp going down. like that. That way I know it's going to be completely square in every facet. That's the word I'm looking for, every facet. The only other small concern I have is this really crappy terrain in the middle here. I mean, it wouldn't be impossible to repave this and turn it into something a little bit better, because this is going to be raised up. This is like a bit of a tiered farm. So it wouldn't be an issue to put stairs on here and lower this down to a universal terrain level. But I'm not too comfortable in raising this up much higher than what I already have. Like I wouldn't double the height of this. I want there to be a very distinct height system to this. Okay, so what I am going to do, let me just think about this. This is going to work as a proof of concept. I might tweak it, but I've had this idea all day. It's been burning in my chest, and I've needed to get it out. So do forgive me if it's a bit crap. Let me put in a four-way here, just for illustration here. This will need a three-way. So I'm likely to change some of the tile set, the schemes for it, before I put things like furniture in. Now let's put one of these in. So I want one that's got... these are halls. I don't want halls. I want the rooms. Now do I have one that's got, for example, two doors in a corner configuration? No, I just have two windows. No, no. Sorry about this, guys. There's probably going to be a bit of thinking for this one. Because I don't think there's a great deal of choice. If I was to put a hall on this, what kind of results would I be getting is a good question. That could be what I want, potentially. Thing is, I don't think I can create things like dead ends without a little bit of finagling on this. I might have to use, for example, these. But even then, that's a turn. Is there one that just has a complete dead end on it? I mean, yes. But because that is a door there, it is exposed. Sorry about this, guys. I think I'm making this more complicated than it arguably needs to be. I just need one that's got a doorway and straight. Ah, here we go. Hall end with a doorway. And then I just need a hall end. I think that will serve the purpose I need for here. Now if I take the industrial room, and if I've got this design correct, I want one here, one here, one here, no, that is not what I'm looking for. Oh, this has got more tiles than I thought. That's a room to hall connector. Oh, this is going to be trickier than I thought to create interesting structures, that is. Because that's a straight hall with a one-side doorway. So if I make this into a room, it's got a room to hall connector. Do I have corners? So guys, this is my intense concentratey face, if you could see it right now. Yes, that's a middle, outer corner. See, here's the bit I don't get. I want to have a room that comes off of here, like that. I want this to be a corner. I have a feeling I'm going to have to layer some crap on top of each other. In order to get this to work. I literally just had it. I am not sure it's going to let me do this without some manual fuckery. It's a shame, really. Because I can't really put it that way. This is a hole to connect. I mean, that then fixes that bit. But then, how do I fix this bit? I mean, it is a very good point. How do I fix that bit? You know, I am going to just fuck the game, and I'm going to put it in manually because I'm sick and tired of fucking pissing around with the game's snapping system. The snapping system is probably the one thing about Fallout 4 that I strongly dislike. So yeah, I just have to layer them on top of one another. It's a shame, but it kind of has to be that way. Just doing the 0.1 fix there to move that out of the way. Okay, now if I go to hallways, I should just have a straight piece, which is a half with an open end. There we go. And then a half with an end. Like that. That works. So there we go. That is one room. Or rather one house, if you want to put it in the correct fashion. Just thinking of the available space I have here. I mean, that is a rather big house, and that entranceway into it is a little bit more lavish than I would like. As in, it's got this double walkway effect on it, which I'm not enormously keen on, to be honest, but sometimes that's just the way it is. Now if I go military and go to bridges, well, that is rusted. What am I doing? I need to go normal bridges because that is what I'm currently using. And you know what, let's use a rusted one. Let's see what this looks like in practice. Do I have just a basic entrance? No, that is a left doorway. Two doorways, straight hall. It's really hard to tell what's what, but this is also a learning experience for me. Okay, so that's got a doorway in the end. Okay, so let's make a double window end. Do we have an end which is two windows? I don't think we do. I mean, there's nothing to stop me from putting in an end cap and then just dragging it inwards to close it off. Then again, that does block the window, and it's not exactly good form if I do it that way. Not good form at all. But I'm using halls here, aren't I? Why the hell am I using halls? Why the fuck don't I just use a room? God, I can be fucking thick sometimes. But then again, rooms are put down on the basis that they are at least 2 by 3, I'm pretty certain. Which I'm not keen on. Like, for real, I'm not particularly keen on that. But I can always finagle these and make it work. Oh, that's not a problem. That is a corner. So this is a left doorway. Do I have a right doorway? Yes, I do. So if I put in a right doorway, and then I put in a corner, like so, this path cannot really be disturbed. So let's replace this with a left corner left. Oh fuck me, this is difficult. Like that. That is another house just there. Now that one has got the effect that I'm going for. I'm going to go and sleep because, my god, this darkness is incredible. That's one thing about setting up new builds is I wish the night time didn't exist sometimes. And as you can see, we are like 3 years into this this game file. I think it's 2287 if I'm not mistaken. The game canonically begins from, and it's 2290. So Charles O'Banion has been rebuilding the Commonwealth for 3 game years, and almost 3 real years for me as well. So that's the thing. That is definitely a thing. Again, we have this perpetual Silent Hill-like fog, which is not ideal. Now, actually, this happy accident here gives me an idea. Actually, if I were to take this bridge out and I replaced it with, say, let's say I replaced it with a 3-way junction. And now let's put some steps. I do want to include some of those curved walkways here. Now if I were to put the walkway let's do a three-sided one here. Just for illustration's sake, let's put one of these over here. So I'm doing a bit of thinking here. How much would I have to fuck with this to bring it down a level and not look absolutely stupid in the process? So let's bring this down a couple of steps. So what I'm doing here is layering one step into the other. So the top steps overlap, so it should create a fairly seamless effect. And now, if I bring these down, yes, they nestle pretty much perfectly on top. And there shouldn't be any tearing from under here. Great. So yeah, in case you haven't like figured it out or whatever, I've taken a bit of inspiration from Diamond City in that a lot of Diamond City are metal structures. Rather, is metal structure. Sorry. Is metal structures. And when you go through the streets of Diamond City, they're very cramped and very crowded. I would say poor, but they're not really poor areas, some of them. You got the upper tiers and the lower tiers. The lower tiers obviously being poorer. I'm trying to create a similar effect here. So I want to have a lot of these fairly closed in, fairly not run down. That's the wrong word for them. They are going to be perfectly livable spaces, perfectly habitable. But I want them to create a sense that these are not luxury houses. These aren't places that you would live in absolute comfort. You would have a job. It might not pay you a lot of caps. The only issue that I'm coming across right at this point is because I've tucked these stairs in a bit, they now don't match up with the walkways below. So I can't create this kind of sprawling feeling. I could, however, fuck with these again, and I could make the space feel a lot more cramped, I feel, by doing this. I might have to do this manually, but for example, if I were to place these here, I could use these as ways to close the space in a little bit. I want to have structures over structures. I want to have structures that overlap. So you've got these little microcosms. And I want to turn this part over here into kind of like a bit of an urban metropolis. And considering the space for the Warwick Homestead, almost said Jamaica Plain there, I don't know why, I did Jamaica Plains a long time ago. Because the space for the Warwick Homestead comes all the way out here, like this is a big area to work with. So what I'm thinking is plants, crops, living spaces all on top and all over each other with plenty of exits. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 exits for the east side of the huts. Pave over this area and create a potential market street that segregates here, so I can have like shops that are quite nicely enclosed. I could use a few of the big structures here to create some civilization. Then a sort of communal meeting space here. Place people to enjoy themselves here. And I could have some recreation huts on that side. What are you doing? So yeah, food, industrial. This could still be the Warwick's living space. I could just tart it up and make it look a bit better. Then the workspace for, you know, creating all the water that the Commonwealth is going to be drinking. And then on the far side we could have a naval base with the attached barracks. I have a lot of space that I can use here. Let me just illustrate how much space I have. So I'm going to use the bridges here. This isn't concrete, by the way. This is just to show you how much space I'm working with. So if I were to just build bridges straight out, I have 14 bridge lengths of space to work with. That is a lot of space. And that corner piece, I think, ends beyond the bar hut. Let me just swim out there to illustrate this. Yeah, so that is where the corner of the settlement is, way beyond the bartender's hut up there. So we have a lot of waterbound space that we could potentially take advantage of. Now, one of the things I would really like to do is remove this water tank and create a large loading area, which is accessible potentially by a path from the corner here. I might have maybe even a security checkpoint to make sure whoever's going onto the docks is authorised to be there. These huts don't necessarily have to go, but I can repurpose these. So where we have all this space, and this being a work area, which will be here by permit only, you could come out dockside here, and I could have a whole webbing of bridges that go out over the water. So I could have several large scaffoldings and potentially barrack-style huts over the water. I could create almost an entire shipbuilding area and potentially cobble together some ships, or come up with a couple of ship designs to make the appearance of building a battleship for the Minutemen. Or I could just have quite a large number of ships floating out in the water as well, and those will have the cannons loaded on them. So this is where the idea of the Minuteman gunboat is going to be born. Allow me to just a quick save here before I fuck everything up. So let's see what this looks like without all this crap in it. Okay, this is set concrete. We'll take the silo out. Ooh. All the trash can come out as well, and the entire silo can be taken away. Let's remove the industrial bridge. We'll leave the hut here for now. Okay, so it's relatively flat, which I like. That is only going to work in our benefit. So a lot of the shipbuilding materials and access way can be placed here. Just collect these pieces. There are a few little treasures hidden away here and there. Oh, I didn't even know this was a thing. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, over this side we have basically to the island here, so there's not much I can do on this end, save for a couple of cosmetic changes. Oh, come on, get me out of this epoxy water. That was a lot more trouble than it was worth. Okay. Just take away this crap that's littered down here. The frames I'll leave in for now because I can adapt them. Okay, now I did say I wanted to segregate these water tanks from the rest of the settlement. So let's see what kind of fences we have available. Sharp real estate. Just checking some of these odd places. You can find some really cool structures to put in for segregating parts of the settlement, but not on this occasion. Bunker capsules. Does the capsule have any perimeter fences? No, it doesn't. It's fine. I mean, the worst case scenario, I could actually cobble together a customised one, which I think would look pretty good, actually. Junk fences, I think, are a little bit too clandestine for a property of this type. These junk fences are a bit higgledy-piggledy, and the wire fences are nowhere near tall enough. We have these chain links, which are, I mean, they're tall, but you could climb over them with a hop, skip, and a bound, which is not what we're looking for. Okay, Homemaker, I think, has some structures. fences. Chain link concrete. Now these would be quite a good pick, but the whole concrete look with the barbed wire has a very Berlin Wall-esque type feel to it, and I'm not particularly keen on it. I mean, these are retaining walls, which look nice, but they're not really for the purposes of this. And they're a bit too tall, like they're proper building walls. So I'm not keen on that. I've got jail cell walls, but again, I don't think they're particularly a rustic fit. The security fencing might be a good pick, to be honest. I could potentially do those. Miscellaneous barriers. I mean, what we're segregating here isn't exactly a dangerous area, but it is an area you don't really want people getting in and messing up. Wow, those are some big jungles. I might have to use them for a build. And they do look a lot neater, I think, than the one you get as stock builds. Okay, so it's a blank on Homemaker here. But CVC does have some stuff. Bollards, no. No. Fences, there we go. Barbed wire. They're too low for anything I'm looking for. Dead walls, these are just house walls, so they're going to be no good. Modular fort. Could definitely find a use for these later on. Never mind. Metal. I think these are all crash barriers. They're all waist high. Quarry. Yeah, too small for my liking. Concrete. They're definitely too small. Junk. Farmer fences. Too small. If I had some proper, really tall chain links, I would probably use them. But alas, here we stand. These are nice, but again, nothing I can really use. Now, I think the security fencing will probably be the best for this. So let's go to security fencing. Yeah, let's put this security fencing in. Now, question is, where do I end the security fencing? Let's remove these. These don't need to be here. I don't really want to get rid of that forklift, but needs must and all that. Now we do have a half corner here, which I think might benefit. I am aware that this is off the ground. Yeah, I think this would be good for keeping people out. Do I just take the easy method and lower it? Or do I take the harder method and actually deal with this? Yeah, I'm going to deal with it the proper way. Snappy builds. Landscaping. Sidewalks. So I've got this really stupid thing where it's not loading footpaths. This is just bog standard concrete. I could have a use for that concrete at some point. Okay, so we've got this nice brick path. I'm not hugely keen on this, but I reckon I could make this work. I think it's just going to be neater if I use the full-size block. That is square. Do I have square? Yes, square blocks. Like that. Okay, and now I'll put in a half path. That's difficult to say, I'll tell you. Let's put in a half pathway going up to here. Just for continuity's sake, let me just put a couple of paving bits in here, just for the old sake of continuity. I am aware this does intrude on the walkway somewhat, but I'm going to keep the topography on this one. Trying to think of little green areas that we can put in here to make it look like this place has developed a bit further. I mean, we could use these planters like that. Okay, so that is a pathway. And we've got this area segregated off. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're laying out the building blocks. That's what we're doing. So let's make sure we keep laying the building blocks. Let's not get too sidetracked. Okay. I need a very small piece of fence for that. That's it. Now we do need a kind of maintenance entrance, just in case somebody needs to get in here and conduct repairs. I'm not even going to screw with the snapping on that. You are just going to go where I want you to, and that is the end of the discussion. You can tell I'm bored of this shit. The snapping shit, that is, not the building bit. I love the building bit. It's the snapping I don't like. Get it straight. There we go. So that is now segregated. So we've got that path coming off. So let's just lay out the building blocks here. Just put a full-blown path here, and it can go into this building. Now it's not a problem. And let's concrete through here. I don't mind it going into this silo particularly much. We just do the 0.1 trick there. Cool. So you can get maintenance crews into here, and I can put in some paraphernalia there to show work's being carried out. I mean, a small security checkpoint or something could go here, but I kind of have to do this to level out the terrain. Otherwise, it's just going to look super unnatural. And I'll probably security fence that off as well. Okay, so this is the space we're working with. That shadow is really obnoxious. And I think this is a really good space here. We could do a lot with that. Depending on the tools that we have, of course. So yeah, I'm going to have to mess with the structures over here, see what I can do. I like the idea of this being like a, almost like a central administration bit, or almost like an atrium, but outdoors. And there's a lot I could do with an atrium. This might involve having to tear down what I already have, but I might get the layout correct off camera, just so you guys don't have to be subjected to my indecisiveness all this fucking time when I deal with it. That'll be a video for another day. We just go to sleep here, pass by this stupid rad storm, and move into next morning. Maybe it won't be foggy. And there'll be a dream. Oh, excuse me. You can tell I've built a lot. This thing's already slowing down. How fun. 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, fantastic. It's not foggy. I mean, I already like how that looks in the daytime here. Ooh, I like this. This looks really nice. It's got to be said. The segregated water tanks here, I do think, add a really nice layer of complexity to this. Like, it looks like it belongs here, all this water production. I just need to stop them walking in the fucking water now, because that is the only part that's annoying me now. I also need to figure out what to do with this little bit of terrain. I kind of want to incorporate it into the build, but I really cannot think how to do that right at this point in time. But that is an issue for another video. I think this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I think we're making some really good progress on the framework. We've outlined the main building, we've outlined the industrial hub, we've outlined the top of the buildings and a potential layout for the residential district. And we've also taken away the tank here to leave the space open to build our naval deployments. Believe me, every minute that goes by, a new idea flashes across my head and I have to like punch myself and be like, no, stick to the plan. Stick to the fucking plan. But yeah, there's a lot I can do with this place and I'm really excited to see where it's going. If you guys have suggestions, please drop them below. I'm open to all suggestions. I do read every comment. If I'm out and about, I might not respond to every comment on the spot. But rest assured, I do read them all. So, please feel free to leave your suggestions. Thank you very much for watching if you've lasted this long. Please make sure you subscribe, just like the building over here says. That is a relic from my 100th episode, by the way. If you haven't seen that, recommend it. But yeah, subscribe if you haven't done so already, because that really helps me out. Make sure you hit that notification bell too. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit, because that helps me out as well. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your support, as always. And until the next one, I will see you then. Stay safe. Peace out. See you later.